Welcome to the Literally First Class podcast, where I will teach you how to overcome anxiety and achieve somatic success. I'm your host, Keri Ford. I'm a somatic success and holistic life coach here to bring humor, insight, and wisdom to the modern day woman that wants to feel alive in her daily life. You ready? Come on, I saved you a seat in first class. Today, I'm offering you a different perspective if you, like me, have struggled with specific beauty standards and shamed and made yourself wrong for adapting to some of those. As you know, I have gone through fairly recently in the past several months a breast explant surgery. I couldn't believe the amount of toxins in breast implants. And there's, of course, all the other beauty standards and things that are normalized, such as Botox and lip fillers, and the list goes on and on. Like even down to makeup and the soap that we put on our body, like our skin being the largest organ actually absorbs all of those ingredients. And it's similar to food. I mean, it's like, what even is safe anymore? Even our water feels unsafe in some ways, right? You're like, oh, well, blueberries are dangerous and my water is poisoned because it's got fluoride and I can't even use this product on my skin anymore because it has all of these, sulfates in it. The list goes on. Everything causes cancer. Everything is bad for you. Everything is, toxic. And I wanted to dive into a different perspective today because I'm going to tell you what, I woke up to a comment and let me just say, I've opened myself up to this conversation. However, this was not a conversation. This was an attack of a comment. And I woke up the other day to comments on my Instagram, which have since been deleted and blocked because listen, hard boundary, like if you want to come at me with criticism and judgment, like get the fuck off my page. But if you want to offer feedback and dialogue, I'm here for it. You want to talk about like a curiosity, a wonderment, like a potential different perspective, great. But I am not here to be shit on by other people, especially women that have a private account with 14 followers and Lord even knows if that's their profile picture. So you want to create a profile and you want to come at me, like you're getting blocked. I'm not even going to entertain responding to you because no. So many of us, women like myself, have dimmed our light for far too long. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I am tired of women having to dim their light and dumb down their success because of who they think they may unintentionally hurt or trigger. That is not ours to fix. I am always willing to take a look at myself like the many other women I'm sure that are listening to this podcast that are committed to their personal growth, that know the world is a reflection of their inner world. The external is just a mirror. I know that. And we can't take on collective wounds or things that are just far bigger than ourselves. Generational trauma, like we can only heal our own one thing. Generational trauma, collective trauma, biological adaptation. I want to bring this to the conversation today. And I'm going to share with you what this person said because I think it's important you know that despite this, I still choose to show up, right? Being front and center in a public forum opens you up to people posting things. It just does. But I want to tell you, if you have dimmed your light or you're afraid of what people say, show the fuck up anyway. People are going to have a problem no matter what you do or how you show up. It will never be good enough. It will never be right. You will never be healed enough. You will trigger people just by being yourself. But the world needs you to be yourself. And I know that I have been guilty of making myself wrong for having an opinion that differs or owning who I am fully or feeling bad that I have hurt people unintentionally, right? Just by being myself. So let's talk about like feedback before I read this. Feedback is something that someone can offer you as a perspective that you can learn from and grow from. There's something in it for you. There is something to marinate on, to take into consideration, to run through your body, to metabolize, and to either spit it out and say, this doesn't resonate for me, or to take it in and say, I think there's something available here. I think there's a potential lesson or growth, something I can learn from. That is what feedback is. It is for your growth. It is something you can actually change and work on for the betterment of you. Not criticism is not something that is helpful. It's offering something like, I don't like your laugh. I don't like your hair color. The way your face looks is just cringe. That is not constructive feedback. What are you going to do with that information? Great. Let me change my face. Let me change my laugh. I had someone tell me, I don't like your personality. Great. I don't know what to tell you. You don't like my personality. I don't know why you're sharing that. Just go on with your day. Like, why do people need to share that stuff? So the point is like, no matter what, you're going to upset people. And you get to choose what you take into your body and what you let land and what you're available for, right? For so long, I know that I have made myself overly available and overly open to feedback. And it's like triggered a massive fawn response, which wants to go into the placate and please and, oh no, conflict feels unsafe. And who do you need me to be in order to not lose this relationship or this connection because I inherently feel wrong or corrupt on some level. And I'm here to say, if you have been working through that, like, let's be done with that story. Let's break up with the people pleaser. Like, we're fucking done with that. We're done. We get to be all of ourselves. And if it pisses people off or it upsets them, oh well, c'est la vie. This episode is presented by Journey to Financial Freedom. In the last few months, I've been working with JFF, Journey to Financial Freedom, to take my finances to the next level. And to say I've experienced a transformation in the way I see money would be an absolute understatement. With JFF, it's not just about managing money. It's quite literally about getting to the root of your relationship with money so that you can amplify your financial success in both life and business. The financial strategies they provided me were simple and powerful, and after staying consistent for the last few months, I can already see the compound effect taking over. So if you're ready to unlock financial abundance in your life and business just like me, JFF is offering our listeners a complimentary assessment call. Do yourself a favor and click the link in the show notes below to book yours today. So this comment, and I've got to find it here on my computer. This is what I woke up to. She's like, why? And I don't know if it's a she. Again, the profile's private. Why the filters? I am Jake Kaufman, talks about taking off the masks, and yet your page is all filtered photos, which is not true. None of these videos have a filter. They're just filmed off of my iPhone, by the way, for the podcast. What the heck is actually true or real here? And then the explant surgery. So clearly the wound is not enough, and yet the filters. I still don't get how a couple can sell somatic work and inner healing, but be tied to literal standards of beauty that you can't attain, yet fill your page as if you did. Absolutely just ego. It's kind of mind-blowing. There were several of these comments on here. Oh my God, you're so fake was another one. Wild. So first of all, I want to empower anybody that has these comments coming to them or has received this feedback like me in my life, throughout my whole life, and I want to empower you and just say, show the fuck up anyway. You do you, boo-boo. You do you. You are going to get comments like this where people think that they can decide if you are being authentic or if you are being fake or if you're healed enough or you're not, right? That's not their decision. It's not their job to decide that. It's only yours. This person has no idea what the past couple of years has looked like. This person has never walked in my body. This person has never come to fight their own inner demons and battles. And so for the people out there that are dimming their light and making themselves wrong just for being themselves, stop. Stop taking in everyone's criticism and being open to everyone's advice and input. I want to empower you around that. I want to encourage you to show up anyway. And know that you're gonna get shit like this, whether it's to your face in reality, by maybe even the people that are supposed to love you the most, or people like this that are strangers on the internet that don't have the courage enough to have a public facing account with maybe even their real name. It's a private account with a random picture of the back of somebody's head. No. Nope. You do not get to come into my world and give me that. Because here's the other conversation around people weighing in on what spirituality looks like and what being healed should look like. That can still be a mask, right? I'm going to offer you something here. I had a conversation with a client of mine who had me on her podcast, and we were talking about beauty standards and releasing the masks and, the unbecoming. And at the time, I was going through this social experiment where I gave up makeup for 30 days. And it was really amazing. It was really beautiful. And I would encourage you to do the same. And the reason I did it was this. Who am I without makeup? And can I still feel beautiful? And the answer was yes. I found that in myself. Like the melasma, the wrinkles, the gray hairs, the wisdom of my face. It was really liberating, to be honest with you. I didn't have to wake up and get ready. I just woke up. I put some lotion on my face. I found these really beautiful oils. I found these ways to enhance like natural beauty, but it wasn't makeup. This macadamia nut, there was like this gold macadamia nut. It was called like Lala something. Anyway, it felt so good on my face, and these like natural lip glosses that were just so pretty and nourishing. And I found these ways to love myself more. And it was really beautiful. And I went out on a girls' like trip to Vegas. I was the only one not wearing makeup. And that felt like a big deal for me. It felt scary and vulnerable. And that's why I wanted to lean into that. And then I came back to wearing makeup full circle. But I'm on a podcast with my client, and we're talking about releasing the masks. And she goes, it's interesting to hear you say that like not wearing makeup was your mask, or your mask to take off, like the makeup was your mask. She goes, but for me, the mask that I've worn has been under, look how spiritual and healed I am because I don't wear makeup. And the not wearing makeup actually has been my mask. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I've never considered that as a different perspective. That's interesting. She goes, I often think like I don't wear makeup, or I wear these flowy spiritual things in an effort to prove or be the personification of spiritual, embodiment and completely healed. Have you ever considered that? And I just thought, wow, that is so interesting. And so we brought this up at one of the retreats that I hosted about a year later. And some women were like, oh, I resonate with that. Yeah, like I feel like, who am I to wear makeup? And so our relationship with these things, there are multiple sides, and we are multifaceted beings. Spirituality doesn't look a certain way. Everything is fucking spiritual. It doesn't look a certain way. You're not more healed because you wear less makeup. You're not more spiritual because you don't wear makeup, right? In this conversation around what is spiritual and what is healed, and I can't believe that you offer healing work and clearly you're still wounded. First of all, I'm fucking human, just like everybody else. So that's bullshit. You don't need to be healed a certain amount to heal people, first of all. Second of all, you can show up however you want to show up, and it's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. Wearing makeup is spiritual. Showing cleavage is spiritual. Not showing cleavage is spiritual. Wearing flowy garb that's organically so, that's spirit. It's all spiritual. And nobody can tell you how healed you are, how wounded you are, how authentic or fake you are. The only person that gets to decide that is you. That is the only judger. It's between you and God. That's it. This episode is presented by Cenegenics. I recently partnered with the leader in the performance health age management industry, Cenegenics. Today's healthcare system is made to treat people with health problems, not prevent them. And that is where Cenegenics comes in. They are the world's best age management health solution, fueled by sophisticated data, advanced technology like the Brainwavy and the DEXA scan I mentioned, and metabolic science. This is for busy women at the peak of their career who also want to achieve peak performance, both cognitively and physically, using a physician-led program that is completely custom to your history, biomarkers, and needs. They've helped more than 49,000 executives, just like me and you, elevate health, reduce stress, and optimize body composition, so we not only look good, but we feel good at any age and any level of leadership. As a brand partner, Cenegenics is offering listeners a free 10-minute consultation to see if the Performance Health Program is your next step in elite health. Use my link below in the show notes to book. Let's stop being overly available for everybody else's input on how their perception of us is. If I want to put a filter on my photo, I'll fucking put a filter on my photo. I am no longer available to be made wrong for how I want to express in that moment. And it's going to evolve, right? Like in that season, I let go of the makeup and it was a really fun social experiment. And then I slowly found my way back to, I think I want to put makeup back on. Cool. That's my expression today. It's all artistry. It's all spiritual. Here's another example. This wasn't directed at me, but there was recently an ad I saw that was targeting me in my Facebook feed. And it was for like a coach, a spiritual coach that said like, watch me build my business back or something and like help empower other spiritual coaches, something like that. I think the photo wasn't even of her. It was like an AI photo, but the woman was very like kind of sexy and she was showing cleavage in the photo and a little flashy. I mean, to be honest, like kind of my taste in photo. I really liked the photo and it was like equally bougie as it was like kind of spiritual vibes, which I fucking love like luxury spiritual stuff. That's just what I have noticed is my truth. Like if it sparkles, I want it. If it's expensive, I love luxury, like well made. I mean, like I want it because it's just like the craftsmanship is just beautiful. It's art. So like that to me is, I don't know, attractive. So I'm looking at this ad and I click on the comments and people are ripping it apart. Like upset at the photo, spiritual isn't cleavage, someone said. And I just thought, what in the actual fuck? Are we literally having this conversation around what is or isn't spiritual? Like, people have so much input over women's bodies enough as it is. Like, hard fucking no. Hard no. Who decides it's like cleavage is spiritual or not? Like, if we're talking about being completely stripped away, the most authentic essence of ourselves is to be naked. So how can cleavage not be spiritual? It's all spiritual is my point. However you want to express is spiritual. You're going to evolve. Your tastes are going to evolve. What feels authentic in this season might feel not authentic in another season, or something else might feel more authentic in another expression. And maybe it's even like within the same week. The point is you're multifaceted. It doesn't have to look a certain way or be in a certain box. And so we get to be fucking done with this conversation and no longer available for it. Stop making yourself wrong for how you want to express and show up, and just fucking show up. I'm really fired up about this because so many women that come to me are like tail between their legs, feeling like they're inherently wrong for who they are in the world. And then they don't show up. They don't show up to their life purpose. They don't call in the partner they really want. They aren't even connected fully to like what it is they desire because they don't feel like they can have it. They feel like they're too much. You're not too much. You're not too much. So I wanted to bring in a different perspective to this conversation, which is, what is the psychology behind beauty standards? Like, there has to be something, right? Because what's beautiful here, the beauty standard and ideal here in this part of the world is different completely in other parts of the world. So what is the psychological purpose of a beauty standard? Who determines that, right? This is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than a collective of 10 women. This is cultural and social, right? These are social standards, but like from a nervous system perspective and from a psychological perspective, we actually need beauty standards. It is a survival response. Think about across the world in a totally different country, their beauty standards, right? Women with the huge discs in their ears or in their lips or the rings stretching out their necks. Thinking about different sizes. Maybe a more androgynous look is European. They're different beauty standards for different parts of the world. Why is that? What is the psychology behind that? So I'm going to read something to you, and it's from this PubMed, right? And it says, from the perspective of evolutionary psychology, beauty is not a cultural construct, and appreciating beauty is not learned, but is rather a biological adaptation, a part of universal human culture. I'm going to pause there. How can we be wrong for a biological adaptation that is part of universal human nature? The preferences for some physical characteristics reflect adaptations for mate choice because they signal aspects of mate quality. Theory of natural selection explains the adaptations, which helps organisms in their tasks of survival. Survival. So from a nervous system perspective, we need to do this on a biological, evolutionary, psychological level because it's survival of the fittest. It's adapt or die. However, an organism, well, there we go. However, an organism can be adapted and survive for many years without passing its qualities to future generations, but to pass them, it must reproduce. The theory of sexual selection explains the adaptations that have arisen as a consequence of successful mating. So, in order to gain reproductive success, women and men both adopt certain mate selection strategies, integrated sets of adaptations, not necessarily conscious, which organize and guide the individual's reproductive efforts. Just like a man is biologically wired to spread his seed, he has many seeds, right? If you read A Radical Awakening by Dr. Shefali, she talks about the innate biological wiring of a man is to look at multiple women. He is wired to reproduce with multiple women. I'm not saying I agree with having multiple partners, but I'm just saying what's biologically true is because he has multiple seeds. A woman only has one egg, though, and one window of opportunity per month to reproduce. So, again, all this is biologically wired. That's my point. How can we make ourselves wrong for biologically adapting? So I want to just give you a different perspective for those of you that struggle with shame or making yourself wrong for being attracted to certain things or thinking that you're not healed enough because maybe now you're not spiritual because you like makeup and you like luxury and this is how you choose to express yourself. Or maybe you've also gotten breast implants and Botox and fillers in your lips. Are there healthier choices? Sure. Can these beauty standards influence our mental well-being? Yes. Everything, of course, in moderation. Whatever moderation means for you is subjective. Let's stop making ourselves wrong for all of this. I don't agree with the fact that we are able to put implants in our body, just knowing what I know. But also, I've gotten fillers and Botox, right? Like, are we ever going to be perfect and fully, in control of everything? No. Can I choose to make healthier or different choices? And you as well? Yeah. Can I educate myself on stuff, ingredients and soap and whatever? Totally. But perfection is just an illusion. There's only so much we can control. And you might unconsciously be attracted to certain things because of the psychology behind beauty standards, which literally is driven by survival for reproduction purposes. To be desired and wanted and belong. These are innate things in our nervous system that it needs. It's, if you think about it, tribal mentality, right? If you look at, it's the book Attached, talks about attachment theory. It is normal to need other people and to seek connection, right? This is the same conversation around where we've seen the pendulum swing and it's bad to be codependent. But also our bodies and our nervous system seek connection so that we can partner up, co-regulate, and reproduce. It is a survival thing. We actually need other nervous systems. We need connection. You're not wrong for needing or wanting a partner, right? So there's also the conversation around codependency. We've seen take that shame game. And so let's stop shaming ourselves. And let's just understand this from a biological nervous system perspective, and also simultaneously seek healthy choices for whatever feels healthy for you. Not what's normal, because what's normal always evolves and changes. And that's based on an external judger. But what feels healthy to you today, in this moment, with what you currently have in your awareness, with where you're currently available for that, if at all. That's up to you, nobody else. So forgive my passion, but I am not available, especially for other women trying to tear other women down. Fuck that noise. You go do you. You go be you louder. You're not too much. I love you. I'll see you next week on the podcast. Keep it first class.
I hope you enjoyed your flight, and I'll see you on board again soon.
Seriously though, thanks for listening. If you're ready to take this work deeper and upgrade your mind, I want to invite you to join us inside my Millionaire Mindset program. This is where you'll start using my guided meditations to help you overcome anxiety and experience even more abundance. When you join, you'll have access to my entire audio library. Head over to elevatewithkeri.com and we'll see you inside.